I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today. I've actually got a few items that I purchased when I was down in Texas that I didn't haul in my last video because I hadn't used them yet. In the interim between last week and this week, I've used them. These first two items are from Too Faced and it's from their 20th anniversary collection. They actually had a full display in the store when I was down south, so I went ahead and I purchased the eyeshadow palette and also one of the lipsticks. So it's the Too Faced Then and Now eyeshadow palette. It's huge. It's a great big palette. The packaging is a glittered cardboard and then it has a magnetic closure on there. And then inside there is a mirror and it says celebrating 20 years of being fabulous on the mirror. And then it flips all the way backwards. And then you've got 20 eyeshadows in here. The top row are supposed to be like the original 10 Too Faced. And I have a product from Too Faced. It's in a little loose powder pot that I got at a store that used to be called Gadzooks in Minot, North Dakota. And I want to say that was like 20 years ago, so it was like one of their first products, which I think is just fun. But the top shades are a newer formula, but it's kind of based off of their original 10 eyeshadows that they had done when they first launched the brand. And then the bottom row is called the Originals Reinvented, so they took the original colors and kind of put a twist on them, so that's what's in the bottom row. Each one of these are 0.04 ounces per shade, which is a decent amount of product that you're getting in there. I do feel like they could have maybe made the palette a little bit more compact and easier for travel, but then again, for me, it's not exactly a standalone eyeshadow palette. You've only got 3 mattes in there, 2 of which I'm wearing on my eyes today, which are I Can't Even and Gigi. I've actually got this palette on my eyes today with the exception of a matte brow bone highlight. I've got Burberry Trench underneath the brow because this does not come with a matte brow bone highlight, but the other one is this shade over here called Gretchen. So you've got 2 pretty good transition shades and then a deeper crease kind of color in there, which this shade I Can't Even, I know it was in a few holiday palettes. It looks kind of like a burgundy brown or a reddened brown, but when I put it on today, it really looked more black and brown than anything, which I was hoping that it would stick more true to color than it was in the pan. I did have some fallout with the shades in here. There's quite a few with some chunkier glitter types in there. But in terms of like a fun eyeshadow palette, I think this is a really fun one. If you've been purchasing like a collector Too Faced for a while, I think that you would enjoy this in your collection. If you're looking for like a functional everyday use type palette, you know, this will probably be a pass for you. But there are some really fun colors in here, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch these guys for you. I'll go ahead and do them in sets of 2, starting with the original and then the revamp. The original and the revamp. The original and the revamp. I probably don't need to say that every time. Oh. So this is one of the mattes in there, this guy right here. So some of the revamp shades are quite a bit different than the original shade. This is one of the mattes. And then here's the third matte right here. I'm running out of arm space. And these guys. And then these last ones, I'll actually do them sideways like this. So the one with the silver is the original, and then the newer version has like a gold in it. So right there. So you can see there's some really pretty colors in here. This glitter shade that's in this palette is a newer formula based off of past experience with Too Faced palettes. It has more like hydration in it, and it's a smoother feeling where the glitter isn't like shooting everywhere, or it's not in a really dry type of a base. It's very shiny and like almost metallic feeling. So I really like the newer formula of some of these shimmer shades that Too Faced put in this palette. A few of these other ones like Trixie, Ice Queen, Pixie Dust, and Dirtbag do have like a metallic or shimmer base with some flecks of glitter in there. I've got a little bit of Pixie Dust on the inner portion of my eye, and I did get some of that glitter fallout on my face. But overall, the pigmentation in these shades is really good, and they blended really nice for me as well. So I'm pretty excited. I can tell that there's a newer formula in this palette. So it does get me excited for what Too Faced is coming up with soon, which the holiday, I know it's just right around the corner. I'm fixing to get my hands on some of that Tutti Frutti collection. There's like a lot of pieces that I want to try from there, so I was hoping to make it to town and maybe be able to swatch some of the stuff at Ulta. And the other product that I purchased from that same 20th anniversary collection is the Too Faced Metallic Sparkle Lipstick, and this is in the shade Miss Thing, and it's got a really pretty gold packaging. All of the lipstick shades kind of correspond with the glitter on the outside packaging, which I like. The detail, it's easier to find if you're going to purchase a few of them. But I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I do, but this is what I have on my lips today with Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in the shade Iconic Nude, and this is really, really pretty. It's got some pink and gold like reflect type glitters in it. You can feel the glitter particles in there, but it's not extremely gritty for as shiny as it is. It's like a really, really shiny lipstick. I just lined my lips and kind of faded that liner in and went over it with this lipstick, and I'm digging it, man. So this is Miss Thing, and this is what the packaging looks like. I'll give you a swatch. Again, this is what I have on my lips, but it's very reflective, very, very shiny. It makes my lips look like they're wet. This next product is from KKW Beauty, and it is their new eyeshadow palette. Does it have a name to it? It doesn't say on the packaging what it's called. It just says KKW Beauty Eyeshadow Palette. And this is the second eyeshadow palette that she released. She did do a collab with Mario Dodanovic, her makeup artist, which I have that palette as well. And I wasn't sure what to expect, but I like the Mario and KKW Beauty eyeshadow palette so much. And then I saw the color scheme of this, and it just looked like a really well coordinated, easy to use palette, and so I went ahead and purchased it. It kind of, I know a lot of people were saying stuff like, oh, another neutral palette and stuff like that, but I kind of feel like this one's a little bit more special than some because of how well the shades are coordinated together. There are 10 eyeshadows in here, and then each shade is 0.06 ounces per shade, so you're getting a lot of product in there. And then there are 3 shimmers. You've got a light one, a medium one, and a deeper one, and then 7 mattes. And you've got good different warm tones of transition shades. You've got some deeper crease colors, and you have a matte brow bone highlight. This is like a super easy warm neutral palette for me to throw on. And in addition to that, the formula of the shadows is really, really nice. They're pigmented and they blend out really well. Very, very minimal, if any, fallout. So I'm very impressed with the formula of this. The packaging is a cardboard, kind of with that more grippy type of feel, and I can imagine it's going to get quite dirty. So let me go ahead and give you guys some swatches. I've worn this palette quite a few times since I purchased it, and I just really like it. It's a nice palette. Great tones. So the first 3, and these next 3. And then these last 4. So there is the new KKW Eyeshadow Palette. It kind of doesn't have a name on the packaging. I'm not sure if it does online or not, but I'm really impressed with the formula of these shadows, both in this palette and the KKW Mario palette. I've got quite a few palettes in this video. This one they also had in store when I was down south, and I was able to swatch it, and so I purchased it, which initially I had zero plans of picking this up because I did see it online first, and I wasn't going to buy it, but then I was in the store and there it was. And it's the Nars, it's called the Atomic Blonde Eye and Cheek Palette. This is what the outside packaging looks like. And then here's the actual, it's a hard plastic packaging, which is really nice. And then inside you've got 4 eyeshadows and a highlighter and then a bronzer. And I'm happy to report that this is not Laguna because they seem to stick that bronzer in all their palettes. It's actually the Unleashed bronzing powder, and then the highlighting blush is called Last Call. The only eyeshadow, oh, there's 2 eyeshadows that I recognize in here in terms of the names, but I think the formula of these ones in this palette are different than what have been released prior. So you got Isolde 2 and Galapagos. I know Isolde is in a duo, and then Galapagos I think they sell in a single. But the formula in this palette of these eyeshadows is beautiful. Very, very stunning. The highlighter on my skin tone kind of blends into the skin, but it provides a really pretty sheen. So if I don't want a ton of lift on the top of my cheekbones, this does work for me. I would prefer it to be a little bit lighter, but it's more of a highlight that blends into my skin tone. And then the bronzer is a nice bronzy bronze. You kind of do have to be careful with it because it is quite pigmented. But let me give you guys some swatches. I'll do the face products first. Very finely milled powders. These are traditional powder style face products in here. There's the highlighter, and there is the bronzer. The eyeshadows are 0.04 ounces a piece, and then the face products are 0.25 a piece, which is a pretty nice amount of product that you're getting in here. There are the shadows. This shade right here is just stunning. I had like zero plans of picking this up, and they had to have a display and I had to swatch it. Then I was like, I need that. Did I really? Probably not. But that's the Atomic Blonde Eye and Cheek palette from Nars. It's not a standalone palette for me in terms of eyes unless I want something really shimmery, because those are all shimmer eyeshadows. I suppose I could throw the bronzer in the crease because that is a matte, but the shades in here are really, really pretty. I also purchased a few new things from Colourpop. I did get the eyeshadow palette and also one of the lipsticks from the Colourpop and Kathleen Lights collaboration. I think it's a astrology one too, which kind of confused me. I think it's called the Zodiac collection, if I'm not mistaken, because Wet n Wild also came out with like a Zodiac collection. Anyway, this is the lipstick in the shade What's Your Sign. It's a little bit more of a warmer nude, beige nude than I had anticipated it to be, but it looks really pretty with Charlotte Tilbury's lip cheat in Iconic Nude. So standard Colourpop packaging. I think that the Colourpop lipsticks are really nice. So again, this is What's Your Sign, and then the star embossing on there. So it's a warm beigey nude color. And then her eyeshadow palette is called the Zodiac. So you have got 12 eyeshadows inside of here, and each shade is 0.04 ounces a piece. So you're getting a pretty decent amount of product for how nice and compact this is. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matte eyeshadows, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shimmers. I would almost say that the Capricorn down here though is a matte shade, but infused with particles of shimmer, because the base of it does have that matte feel to it, which I'm not always crazy about those type of shades. But I have worn this palette and these shades are on par with Colourpop's eyeshadows. I think that they're really a great formula for a very affordable price. I do wish this palette had a matte brow bone highlight though. I guess I would say too that Libra, it appears to be a matte, but there is an ever so slightly satin finish to that shade. So hopefully you can see kind of the finishes in the swatches, but there are some really fun colors in here. And I really get along well with Colourpop's eyeshadows. They're so affordable. It's like I don't know, I really enjoy collecting all their palettes that have been coming out. So there's the top row, and then the middle row. And then this bottom row. This end shade right here is one of my favorites in the palette. It's just so pretty on the lid. Such a bright teal seafoam type of bluey green color. It's so pretty. So that is the Zodiac palette from the Colourpop and Kathleen Lights collab. And then the other palette I purchased also from Colourpop is the Make Up Your Mind Shadow Collection. This one has got 6 shades in there, and each one of those is 0.035 ounces per shade, so it's ever so slightly smaller amount than the Kathleen Lights palette. And again, one of the good things, or the fun things at least, about Colourpop eyeshadow palettes is all of their shades are removable, so it's very easy to depot and create your own and travel with like a magnetic palette and stuff like that. So this has just got 6 really fun eyeshadow shades in there. They're all shimmery, so it's kind of a fun little pairing palette. This color here is really pretty. It looks like a brown, but it's got purple and like a blue type of a shift to it. And then the bottom 3, and that purple has got some very, very fine like blue glitters in it. This guy right here. So that one is the Colourpop and Make Up Your Mind eyeshadow palette. And then I do have a few repurchases. I already took this one out of the box because I'm using it. It's the Belif, the True Cream Moisturizing Balm. This is my go-to nightly moisturizer. I like to mix it in with some of the Mahalo balms, the Rare Indigo, and also the one that's just called the Mahalo Balm. Luxurious. One of my favorite moisturizers. Thanks, Stephanie Nicole. And then I also purchased another bottle of the Drunk Elephant Umbra Tint Physical Daily Defense Broad Spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. This is the tinted version. I've already busted into this guy too because I used up my other bottle. This has been my go-to sunscreen all summer. I just like the little extra tint that it gives the skin. This formula has been working out really nicely for my skin, so I really like it. And then I also purchased another one of the Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Serums. This one I didn't get into yet. I'm on the tail end of the bottle that they had sent me when they released this product, and I also love to mix, I like to mix that one in with the original, and I like to mix it in with the tint to give it even more glow. What I find that it does for the sunscreen is it gives a little bit more hydration to the skin when I add that in with that sunscreen, and I really, really like this product. It also has that anti-pollution factor, antioxidants and whatnot in it. And then lastly here, and I just got this in, I purchased the Wet n Wild Fire Dragon and Ice Dragon collection off of their website. I purchased the bundle version, and then I noticed that there were additional shades in both the highlighter and the bronzer ranges. So I went ahead and I purchased the additional shades. I forgot one of the bronzers. So my mom actually was here when I opened this up, and there were some products in here that she liked, so she placed the order and I had her throw that bronzer in for me. But this is what's in the collection. It has that real Game of Thrones vibe to it, which I'm just living for. These highlighters in here, while this blue one is a really, really strong blue, which I'm going to swatch it for you guys, it is that more gelée type of texture, and it's beautiful. I love their Mega Glow highlighting powders like this, and it's that same type of formula. I'm so excited by the fact that Wet n Wild is coming out with collabs and collections like this. I just think it's great. So in addition to what came in the bundle in that box, there were 2 additional quads that were released. Another form of the highlighter, and then they came out with 2 of these brushes, which the new Wet n Wild brushes are really, really nice. Extremely affordable and really, really nice. I think they're a good value and they're nicely made. And these ones kind of mimic a dragon tail, which is super cute. My mom had to have these brushes. This was part of her order as well. So you've got like a little highlighting brush right here. And then you've got a bronzing, well, they're calling it a bronzing brush, but you could use it for like all over powder or anything like that. This first highlighter is in the shade Glow Watcher. And it's almost just kind of a frosty type of a white shade with maybe an ever so slight pinky shift in it. Very, very beautiful. I love these highlighters from Wet n Wild. So that one is Glow Watcher. And then these next two are the ones that came in the kit. This one is Halo Walkers. This one is probably a little bit too blue for me to pull off. It's pretty blue. Still really pretty nonetheless. But it's got a pretty strong blue tone to it. And then the one that I'm wearing today is in the shade Winter Falls in LA. And it's got a really, really pretty greeny blue shift to it. Again, that's all over on the high points of my face, and I just think it's stunning. So this is Winter Falls in LA. Right here. There is a dragon pattern in there, but it's kind of hard to see. Kind of hard to see the shift in that shade as well, but it's gorgeous. And then the two bronzers that came in the kit are You're Dragging Me Down, and this is what I have on my face today as a bronzer. I've got it all over kind of in the bronzy points of my face. It is a matte finish, very pigmented, so a light hand is needed. Oh. Well, no, it's a matte. It's a matte, maybe an ever so slight satin sheen to it. And then the other shade is called Queensland, and this one's very, very warm toned. So not so sure how that guy's gonna look on my skin tone, but it's got a lot of gold in it. And then the one that was, I think, the most cool toned was the third one that wasn't in the kit. So I have that on the way, but I hadn't realized there were 3 of the bronzers till after I placed my order. And then the kit came with 4 loose pigments. So I'm going to swatch these the best that I can. It has a nice little stopper over the top, so you don't have to worry about like spilling it everywhere. But I'm going to have to open them up here. I'm like melting, you guys. It's 90 out again today. So bear with me, please, if I'm getting shiny. But this first one is Tonight's Blue. There's 0.07 ounces of product inside of here. So this is Tonight's Blue pigment. This next one is Ice Ice Lady, and it's kind of a silver shade right there. Then you have got Gilded Crown, which is a gold. And the last shade is called Fire Rain, and it's a really pretty burgundy color. Those are the pigments. These first 2 quads were not part of the bundle, but they're part of the collection. So you've got Dragon Scales, which is some really pretty green colors. There is one matte shade in here, and that's this top one. The rest are all shimmery. And typically 9 times out of 10, I have really good luck with Wet n Wild's eyeshadows. There is one that I pulled today that I was not that impressed with, which I'll get to in a minute. So that one is Dragon Scales. This next one is the Night's Quad. And this one has got 2 matte shades in here. You've got the top one and then this bone color. And then the silver and the black are shimmery. So that one is the Night's Quad. These next 2 are the ones that came in the kit. So you've got Mythical Creatures, and this is the one that I was going to wear on my eyes today with that really pretty highlight. And then I swatched the purple, and it just dudded out for me, man. I was like, dang it! So I never went with it. This purple here, I went to swatch it and it's like it almost created hard pan instantly. So then I kind of took a Q-tip and rubbed over it and it kind of broke it up a little bit. But I feel like there's a little bit too much maybe silicones in it, and it's pressed a little bit harder. The shade itself is really pretty, but there are two mattes, no, one matte. The transition's a matte. This one's kind of a satin. This is and then these two are shimmers. So that was the shade that I was after. Let's see if it swatches good here. Yeah, pretty sheer, and it's because it's creating hard pan. It's like you need to break it up a little bit. I was kind of sad about that because that was the color I headed towards first. But that one is called Mythical Creatures. And then this last one is Fit for a Queen. These ones are pretty good. This one I can tell is a little bit pressed hard, but it swatches much better than the purple shade that I just showed you. There are two mattes in this one, which is that top transition and then this kind of burgundy red color. I think that I was going to use this one again, but then I put that kind of blue highlight on and I was like, that might clash a little bit. So there is Fit for a Queen. Oh, that is pigmented, that red. I wish this purple would have swatched better than that. But that shade is Fit for a Queen. And the last thing that came in the bundle box there are these liquid catsuit metallic lipsticks. And I was so excited to order these online. I'm so happy that Wet n Wild now sells their stuff online and I don't have to go on a hunt for it. But I was like so excited placing my order for this stuff that I didn't even realize that these were liquid lipsticks. Whoops. I thought that they were those cream eyeshadows, which they make some really pretty glitter, like top coat type eyeshadows, and that's what I thought these are because look at the shades. These look like eyeshadow shades. But they're not. They're the liquid lipsticks. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them for you guys anyways, but I don't wear liquid lipsticks all that often. So this first one is Redlings, and it's a really pretty burgundy red color. Then you've got Queen's Blood, which is kind of a copper brown. I wish these were eyeshadows. I just really want them to be eyeshadows. Maybe you can use them as eyeshadows. Then we've got Shall We Slay. It's kind of an interesting like taupey brown color. But they look like eyeshadows. I'm still, okay, get over it, Tara. They're not eyeshadows, they are liquid lipsticks. And then the last one is Icing on the Wall, and it is a blue. So those are the 4 liquid catsuit lip colors. And that's going to be everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.